Okay, let's finish up this website. So we are almost close. We almost have two awesome projects built already. And yeah, I'm super proud of you. Congratulations. Okay, let's see what we have. All we have to do is add another section here with the contact and then just finish up the footer and we are done. So let's do both. Hitting two birds with one stone. Is that the saying? No? Okay. So let's do section, contact. And here I want to wrap this whole thing inside a form wrapper like this. And here let's just add a h2 that's going to say get in. I'm going to add a break like this. And I'm going to say touch. And you know what? This section, I'm actually going to drop this kind of in the center. So let's do it this way. Let's do it kind of here. All right, so we don't leave that much empty space here because this kind of leaves too much empty space. What I want to do is wrap this around a span. So get in, we added the break, touch, and we added in the span so we can make this a bit bigger and change the color of it. Okay, and then we're just going to have a super simple form. And you can use form spree again for this, and then just a super simple footer. Okay. So let's just wrap this touch into a span. Wrap the touch in a span. Okay, perfect. Now let's just go down here. So after the H2, all right, H2, we want, the reason why we added this form wrapper again is because I want to add display flex to the form wrapper and this image here. Okay, so we're going to have a form inside this div. That's going to be super simple. So again, here you can add the form spree if you want. I'm just going to create a label for email. It's going to say your email like this. And then we're going to do input. Oops, I don't want to copy this. Type email with an ID of email. And this is going to be required. And then just a button with a type of submit. So let's add that. And the text is submit as well. No, I'm losing myself in the code. Submit. Okay, and then after this whole image thing, this div thing, we're gonna add the image. Stop messing up your words, Ed. Image, and then we're gonna go to the contact image. Okay, and I'm gonna give this an alt of Alina Joy, just another picture of her. Hit save. Okay, so that's it. And finally at the bottom, we're just gonna create a super simple footer. So after the main footer, tab, then we're gonna add a h4 here, Alina Joy, and we're gonna add that copy symbol, copyright like this. Okay, 2019. And just a UL, so a list with some anchor tags. Here you can add a Twitter link if you want. And then in here, we're just gonna drop in an image that's gonna say image, and let's do YouTube. And I'm gonna add a YouTube social media. Okay, let's copy this 2 more times. So here we're gonna say change this to Twitter, and this is gonna say Twitter. And lastly, this is gonna be Instagram. Instagram. Okay, save, and that's gonna be it. We can finish. We can close the index.html. Let's take a look down here. This is what we have. Okay. Let's fix this up. Let's go above our media queries here. And what we can do is just add a contact section. I'm gonna get the contact, add a min height. Let's do something smaller here. We don't need that super large one. 90 VH, that's fine. Let's do a display flex and a Let's do a flex wrap of wrap. Okay. Good. Okay, so we have this here and this there. And now what we're gonna do is kind of increase the size and make them take up a specific amount of space. Form wrapper. And we're also gonna get the, let's see, where is it? Form wrapper image, I believe. Let me take a look real quick. Form wrapper, yeah, so this form wrapper doesn't have the image. So the contact image, that's what we want. Okay, so let's also get the contact image. Like that, and I'm gonna add a flex 1 to this. 1, 1, and 40 rem as my base size. And up here, I'm gonna make this larger, take up more space, 3, flex 3, 1, and 40. Okay? Okay, so way more space. This is kind of like in the background. Okay, so here I'm gonna use that display flex direction, column, center, all those good stuff. So we can go back to the HTML, and on this form wrapper, we can just add flex. That little helper tool that we used. Save, and take a look. Magic, it does almost everything for us. Wow. Okay, super cool. Let's see what we have next. Let's make this a bit bigger. Let's add a font size to this. So let's do form wrapper h2. I'm going to say font size var big. Save. All right. Is this the one I used? Let me see. Yep. This is the one we used. Big. Doesn't look that big to me. No, I guess so. We can add a 2.8 maybe. We can get a bit larger. Let's also add to the span. Let's go down here. All right, H2. And let's get the span. Form wrapper span. Font size. Let's also do var big. Okay, let's make some changes because I want this to be way larger than this. So what we're gonna do, all right, so the H2s by default already have this header 2 size. Okay, that's fine. But this big one, let's do something like 4. 4 rem. Let's go down here and we can actually get rid of this one, the H2. I'm sorry. Finding things is a bit difficult. Okay, let's just get rid of the H2 and see what's up. Okay, this is the same size, so let me make sure what we did incorrectly here. All right, form wrapper, and it's the H2 and span. All right, let me make sure, just in case I made a mistake here. Okay, let me just try to set a font size manually here. 40 rem, that's extremely large. Okay, that works. So maybe just increase the size of this. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Let's go back here. I'm gonna travel a few times till we get a good font size. 6 rem. Okay, that's a bit better. Now we can kind of see the difference. Okay, so 6 rem, I'm happy. Okay, let's go back down here again. Oh, it's like a train ride. I'm sorry. Here, okay, thank you. And all I want to do is also change the color of this to var, and we made a special one here. It's kind of annoying that this doesn't really show you. You have to add 1 dash to kind of show you, but if you add 2, it doesn't anymore. So special color, okay? We have our special little color here. Okay, let's get the form wrapper label. And all I want to do here is just make it basically jump to a new line. I don't want these to be in the same line. So that's super simple. You just add display block and it's going to take up the rest of the available space. Same thing with the button. We can also do that. Or we can add display block to the input. But actually we're going to create a new one here because we're going to add more styles to the input. So form wrapper, input, I'm going to add display block to this as well. Okay, drops to a new line, perfect. Just add a bit of margin to it, 3 rem, 0 rem, like that. Just add that background that we have of var background color, okay? The color should be white inside because as you can see, now we can see. If we don't leave this, then it's gonna be default black and that's again gonna be kind of hard to see. So let's add color white back. Let's get rid of the border. I want to say none. Okay, and just add a bit of padding to it. 1 rem. There we go. Much larger. Looks nice. Okay, that's step 1. Let's also get the button form wrapper. Button. And just add a bit of padding to this as well. 1 rem and 8 rem. Kind of want to make this long like that. And then we can do background var of our special color. Yay, there we go. Let's change the color to white. And border to none. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we have. Perfect. I mean, what we can also do is stretch this button out all the way here. We can do that as well. So maybe button, just add a width of 100%. If you like that style, I think that actually looks a bit better. We can do that as well. Okay, so we have that. Maybe you give a bit more spacing in between this H2 here and the rest of the things. So let's go form wrapper. Actually, we can get the span here or the H2, that's fine. H2. We can add a margin bottom, 3 rem. Let's do 5. There we go, a bit more space. It's looking much better. Okay. What I want to do is also kind of fix this thing up here. So let's add the footer so this doesn't get cut off like that. So all the way down here, let's add a comment here. Okay, I'm gonna grab the footer. Background is gonna be that color, var, the background color. Okay, color of the text is gonna be white. Display flex. Hit save. There we go. If I want to add a bit of padding, I can do that so it kind of looks the same as up here. Another trick you can do is just add a padding of 5%, and that's going to leave us 5% here. So here's another cool trick. We can say padding. If I want top, I can do like something like 3 rem and 5%. So there we go. It leaves 5% on the left and the right. Now what we need to do is display this flex as well, so the UL that we have there. Also, let's add align item center here. There we go. And let's do footer UL display flex. There we go. Let's also add flex 140 rem. And then we do justify content space between. And align item center. Okay, there we go. Now it takes up too much space. So let's add a flex 1 to the Alina Joy here. And we are done. Footer H4, flex 140 rem. Save. There we go. This kind of takes up still. It looks kind of weird. It's 2 separate. Let's increase this to 2. Save. Even more. 3. Save. Much better. Okay, there we go. Take a look. Everything is good. For this text, let's actually kind of change the size of this. I feel like this H4 is still very large. For this one specifically, I'm gonna make it smaller. Font size, let's do 2.8 rem. Let's do a calc of 2.8 rem plus 1 VW. Save. All right, that's large. 2. Still large for a footer. 1.6. Much better. Even smaller. We can go 1.4. Okay, great. Now when we go small, it still looks kind of okay. Okay, perfect. So now here what we can do is, again, if we really want, we can kind of drop this to a new line. So we can go up here to the footer and add a flex wrap of wrap. Save. And it drops to a new line. There we go. So as soon as it drops to a new line, we can also get rid of this image if we want to keep it simple for the mobile view. All right, this kind of is not that important because we have less space to work around here anyway. And we also want to give some space up here on the top actually. So for that, we don't actually even need to add the mobile portion to add the padding. We can do it straight in the desktop version as well. So let's find this. It is form wrapper, this one. So we can get rid of margin bottom and we can just say margin 5 rem, 0 rem. Okay, so top and bottom. Okay, so we have more space there. Let's get rid of this image on mobile. So let's go down here to the mobile section. All the way down here at the bottom. The name was contact image. Contact image, display, none. All right, just want to make sure we keep this as simple as possible. There we go, so it looks nice. We can also add a background to this if you want, but I'm gonna keep it super simple and nice like this. Okay, an alternative, you can add that dark background and maybe change this to white and maybe add a more vibrant color to this. Please just experiment with this, see what you can come up with, because this is all about just having fun. Okay, lastly, maybe just a bit of padding on mobile when we come down to these links. And that's it. And what we can also do is change the order of this if we want. So maybe I want that text down here and the social medias up here. Do you remember how we can do that? Well, let's take a look. We have the footer UL and the footer H4. Footer UL, footer H4. Okay, what we can do is just add an order to them. Order 1, order 1. I mean, order 1, order 1. And if we add order 2 here, well, nothing's gonna change. But if we switch these around, then this gets dropped down here. So generally how I would add the orders is you kind of just look how they come in order. Well, 1 and 2, right? If we had multiple elements in here, 1, 2, and then maybe another something here, this would be 3, okay? So just add it like 1, 2, and whatever you need to switch, you just switch. Okay, so it's down there. And for this one, a text align of center, I think we'll do just fine. And just a small amount of padding, 1 rem. There we go. And that's it. We have successfully created a full-on responsive website with CSS grid, with a bunch of text, with everything that you want. There we go. And some cool animations. One thing I want to cover still is when we are on this large screen, the text is still too large and I don't like it. And this grows infinitely. So if I can stretch it across another screen, this grows super large. So let's add kind of a limitation to this. So what we can do is go all the way down here and we can create another media query. So all the way at the bottom, we can just do a media screen, and I'm gonna do minimum width. So the minimum width should be around 1700 pixels. So anything below this should not apply. So if I just add a body of display none, okay, we cannot see anything, but take a look. If our screen is smaller than this, but as soon as we hit that minimum width of 1700, then we want to stop making this font size even larger. All right, so this is the moment where I want to set a fixed amount of rems. So let's go here. We don't actually need this, but what I'm going to do is say HTML. And what I'm going to do is set those variables. So I'm going to say header1. And all I want to do is set 3 rem to this. Let's do header2. I'm kind of doing a guessing game here and see what looks good. So we can modify this after. Let's do 4.5 rem on this. Header 3, let's do around 3.5. Header 4, let's do 2.5. And for that big text, let's do like 8 rem or something, or 6 rem. Okay, let's also add it here. Okay, let's see if it still looks good. So as you can see, it's kind of resizing itself, but as soon as we hit the 1700 now, it kind of ends up in a fixed size. And we cannot see it anymore. So if I try to grow this, let me see if I can do it from a side. Let's see here. Why can I not grab the side, Firefox? But let's do something dramatic. H2 is going to be 2. Boom, it got super small all of a sudden. Okay, so I kind of guessed it kind of correctly here. But to be honest, you know what? This still looks kind of big to me. So let's kind of adjust everything. Header 3, well, we need to also get the text. So I forgot about that. Let's grab the text and let's do around 2.5 rem to this. Save. Alrighty. All right, that's super small. Oh, we haven't closed this. Save. All right, so let's see. Okay, so as soon as we hit 1700, boom. All right, it got smaller a bit. It kind of stuck to that size. Okay, which is fine. We can make it maybe a bit larger. So this should be around 2.7. So the transition is not so all of a sudden. It kind of blends together. Now, it's still a bit too much. Let's do 3 on the text. So it shouldn't grow larger than 3. Okay, that's quite okay. That's not too bad. Okay, very good. And you can experiment with this one as well. You kind of just want to make sure that they don't have that big jump. $1,700, it gets a bit smaller. So let's increase that a bit. So the big one, let's do 8. Okay, so as you can see, the jump is not that large. It is large on this one though. So this is our H4, I believe. Let's do 3 rem. Okay, it's fine. Let's go up here, make sure that these are fine. 1,700. That's just a small jump, but we can do it. Let's do 5 rem. All right, there we go. That's good. And perfect. So that's gonna be it. Let me also make sure the H3. You can mess around so much with this, trust me. You're gonna go crazy. Okay, let's make this bigger too. 4. Make the H3s happy as well. You want even more? It's fine. All right, I'm happy with this. Okay, so there we go. You can kind of mess around with this, come up with whatever you're happy with, and you can actually do multiple one of these. So maybe on 4K displays, you can copy this over. So if you have like something super large, you can reset that to something like 4000, okay? What's your resolution? 3800 something? 60? Something like that. So you can do this and set it again. So kind of mess around with this, but generally I would say just make sure things look good when you go on mobile here. Like this looks good. Everything looks perfectly fine here. Okay, and then we can just test out the iPad. That looks still just looks good, no issues. Let's do 2 more. On the small size, if on the iPhone it looks good on the iPhone 5, which has a super small size, then you're kind of good. Yep, everything's still good. iPhone 6, so these are automatically probably gonna look good anyway. Yeah, so you just want to make sure that everything looks good. Also, again, don't forget, turn on accessibility. Make sure that your contrast and all of those good stuff are good, and everything still looks fine if you check out these different. Now we're again kind of like black and white. We didn't mess around with too much with the colors, so it's unlikely that you're gonna have a problem with this.